Good morning, class. Welcome to your virtual course, Statistics. My name is Dr. Araipur, and here's the home page of your Canvas. When you log into Canvas, go to your home page. The first step is to watch the welcome message. It's just a couple of minutes. I'm welcoming you to the course. Second one, class philosophy. This class is a community, and therefore we all have the same objective to learn. Online students often feel isolated, but it is vitally important to know that you're not in this alone. I would like each of you to approach our online class with a great attitude and a willingness to help one another. Many problems and questions can be resolved by asking a fellow student. I'm always here to help you, but I truly believe your experience will be more fruitful if you communicate with your fellow students as well. Let us work together to make this a memorable semester for each and every one of us. Going back to the home page. The next one is the announcements. You can click on the announcements right here. Give me a second. So you can get to the announcement right here, or on the left column, you see the announcement. Either way, it'll take you there. The purpose of that was mainly for the students to get started with the course early. There was a recorded orientation, Math Center, exemption to orientation, welcome and orientation, and then I added a few more. So the welcome and orientation basically talks about today, the date and time of the orientation, and basically getting into Connect Zoom. Going back to the home page, after the first three, number 4 says follow the steps below. So what are these steps? Number 1, we are looking at the syllabus. Number 2, modules. We discussed the practice test, PowerPoints, solving practice test, homework. All of the above can be found right then and there. Number 4, practice test and solution, which should be done at the end. Number 5, discussion forum. Number 6, exams. And number 7, student office hours. So let's start with the first one, exploring the syllabus. All right, I understand not everybody reads the whole syllabus, and nowadays syllabi are getting larger and larger. So I've put topics here. At the very least, there are a few topics I believe students are interested in. The top one would be at least the grading policy, I believe. But I'm going to spend a couple of minutes going over the whole syllabus. Make sure you do that, and many of your questions will be answered here. So student learning outcome, course objective, the text. We are using a free text by Open Text, and the digital homework by My Open Math. We're going to refer to it to MOM, M-O-M from now on. The calendar, you basically follow the modules that you can find under the modules of Canvas as well as the MOM. And here's the date of the exams. The very first one happens on Wednesday next week. It's very fast. It's a fast-paced course. And then the rest of them are on Saturdays, except the last one, which takes place on the last day of class on Monday. I give you enough time to take the exam. You have the whole day. But the time slot is a couple of hours. You will receive an email for that regard. We will have a review session right before that. So the review sessions and their dates are mentioned here. Calculators and formula sheets. You can use a graphing calculator for this course, and of course, formula sheets, and I'll show you where to find. Tech support, as I mentioned, Math Center. As I get more information regarding this summer, I put it up. The grading policy, I believe, is extremely important for the students, and that is the fact that it adds up to 1,000. I set it up so that it's easy to figure out. So let's see if I can bring this one back. So there are several things you want to pay attention to. Online homework, 200 points. Review participation, 100 points. This is discussion forum. We go over that in a moment. There are 4 exams. Each one is 100 points. The final comprehensive 300 points. They add up to 1,000 points, and 900 points or 90% gives you an A. Now, as far as the homework is concerned, percentage of the homework you receive in MOM or My Open Math gets multiplied by 200. So you don't want to pay attention to the number of points that MOM gives you, but rather the percentage. Let's say you get 90%, that means 90% times 200 will be put in Canvas. There is no makeup policy. If something comes up, you can let me know in advance. If there's a proper documentation accepted by the campus, I'll go for that. The thing I do for the students is that I drop the lowest exam grade among the first 4 exams if the final score is 80% or higher. Homework and discussion board grades are both at least at 90%. And of course, this action should result in a higher letter grade, because if it doesn't change anything, it's not a good idea anyways. There is more to read here. I suggest you look at that. One of the things that I find helpful is what's called CSULB Study 36. You can look it up if you want. In short, for every unit, we have to study 3 hours. That is on a regular basis. This is a short term. Therefore, instead of 3 times 3 equals 9, you have to multiply it by 2 because it's cut in half. So 18 hours per week to learn and pass and move on. If you miss any of the exams, you will be dropped. If you haven't started with MOM, My Open Math, and some of you haven't, I suggest you get started immediately, because there is really no time to catch up. And again, anyone not starting with MOM within 24 hours will be dropped. Some of your assignments are due just about immediately. And here's the summary step to succeed. As far as the office hours, it's 8 to 9, 9:30 on Mondays and Wednesdays. Normally 9:30, even sometimes I stay around longer. At the same time that we will have the review session. So I suggest you take a couple of minutes going over that again if you happen to have a question. So going back to the home page, the next one is modules. And when we get to the modules, it says part A, print the practice test and skim the questions, watch the PowerPoints, solve the practice test as you go through PPs, PowerPoints, gradually. Then do the homework. Do your homework before the deadline under the assignment homework link of My Open Math. Note homework is set up such that you watch the video lectures before starting each homework. As far as the homework is concerned, I'm going to leave it for last because I got to go to My Open Math. I want to show you how to register and do the homework. But what do you find under modules? Pretty much everything for the course is set up under the modules. So if you look at the left navigation bar, home, announcement, syllabus, now modules. So the very first thing you find under the modules is My Open Math. And to access it, you don't need a course ID. All you have to do, click on it and register. I will show you in a moment. But before we get there, the next one is Module 1. And as far as you're concerned for the very first exam, you just want to look at Module 1 and nothing else. However, just the synopsis of what happens here, after we cover Module 1 and Exam 1, comes Module 2, Module 3, 4, and number 5. Now, bear in mind, the final is comprehensive. All you have to do, study from the previous exams and Module 5. So Module 5 will be part of the final exam. Now, there is another module that I'm going to go over in a moment, which has a lot of resources for you, such as formulas, TI calculator, and their commands, and various tables. I'm going to come to that in a moment. Let's go back to the very first module. Look at the first module and see what happens. We have the sample test or practice test. Then we have chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. Those are the PowerPoints. And finally, the solution to the sample test. So why is the sample test the first thing I want you to look at? The purpose of this is for you to spend a couple of minutes reading and to see what you're getting yourself into, which is the first 3 chapters class. Now, the next one, chapter 1, Introduction to Statistics. You have the PowerPoints here. My suggestion is that you put that in slide mode if you want to see the examples step by step. Otherwise, you see the whole page and it may appear to be too much. So that's the first chapter. I highly recommend you do probably a chapter at a time. You could do one section and do the assignment. You can do one chapter and do the assignment. It is up to you. I think it's not a bad idea to go by chapter. So you go with chapter 1, unless the chapter has too many sections. Chapter 1 has only 3 sections. Then you have chapter 2. Again, we have the PowerPoints here, class. So one by one, you click on them. Just as an example, if you click on this one, and if you download and you put it in slide mode, everything that you see will show up step by step. It won't be the whole page in one shot. What comes last on this module 1 is the solution. I highly recommend you do the work on your own and then check the solution, because you want to make sure, first of all, you give yourself enough time to learn this. And secondly, you want to check to make sure it is correct. Now, pay attention to the way I answer questions. There are some basic questions that are definitions or just need the formulas, but there are questions that you have to solve step by step. Take a look at how it's done step by step, because it has to explain It has to be explained properly for you to get full credit. So that's the module. Of course, we have to go to MOM, my Open Math, and do the homework. And as I mentioned, I'm going to look at it at the end when I show you how to register and do the homework. Now, while we are here under the modules, as I said, the next one is module 2. Module 2, for example, covers 2 chapters. By the way, the PowerPoints that you see here versus the chapters under the modules, they may not have the same numbers. The only thing that matters is the modules are practically identical, but the number of PowerPoints and their chapters may not be. So go by module. So exam 1 is covered by module 1. Whether you are in MOM or Canvas makes no difference. So now what I want to do, I want to look at this last one. What do you find here? First of all, you can use the formulas for your exams. Now, you have various ways of accessing it. One way is just to find them here. I have the formulas, and I've separated them by either chapter or a module. We have the tables here. Various tables, the Z table, the T table, chi-square table, you name it. I want to go over the last one. This is the one that gives you the TI calculator commands. And in addition to that, I truly believe in OER, Open Educational Resources, where students shouldn't pay a penny for anything. I have the information here how you can download a TI calculator. And if it works, let's see if I can browse. Open this or not. This is not. Let's see if this does that, because I want to show you the calculator. Okay, so if it works out, because sometimes it acts up, and I've put the URL for the YouTube video that tells you how to download that into your computer, then you will have access to TI calculator, and it's all free. What else can you find there? If you scroll down to different pages, you see various commands. And as you go down, take a look at what else we have at the end. I have put other informations, other online calculators here. All for free. I highly recommend you try all of them and see which one works the best for you. So what do you find here? When you go to TI 8384 calculator, not only you find the commands, you also find a way to download the emulator in your computer. If you go to the end of the PowerPoint, it also gives you access to various free online calculators. You don't have to pay a penny, as I mentioned. And of course, you have to explore them to see which one works the best for you. I'm going to go back to the home page. So we did the modules. As I mentioned, I'm going to leave the homework for now, for last. The next one, number 4, was practice test solution. As I mentioned, under the module, we also have the solution. Please make sure you consult with that to make sure your answer not only is correct, also taking proper steps, because just an answer without justifying is not a good idea. Make sure you write the steps, you write the formulas, and show your work properly. The next one is a discussion forum. And again, you can click on this, or on the left navigation bar, you can find the discussion forum. Let's see what we find. Number one, we have frequently asked questions. Many of your questions are already answered here. Please take a look. It doesn't take more than a couple of minutes for you to read that. Let me just quickly show you. So these are some questions that I've already answered. And if anything else comes up, I put them here. So please take a look at FAQ. The next one is student bios. Please put a short bio here. And if you want to answer any student very politely, that would be fantastic. Now, they are not obviously graded, but from here where it says DB, short for discussion board, module 1, practice 1, and then the second one, third, fourth, fifth, this is the portion that has 20 points each, total of 100 points. And those are easy points to get. And the last one is the student-to-student classroom interaction, which I'm going to quickly show you. If you want to have a Q&A among yourself, by all means. I will not monitor this discussion board except to make sure all is proper. By the way, we are all adults, and I'm sure we will act accordingly, all respecting one another. So, number one, and the rest of them follow the same format. If you click on the first one, here's what is expected of you. You are required to post at least one question and its solution, either from practice number 1, posted under the modules, or any source of your choice. The idea is that you pick up a question and you have to write the question completely. So that's number 1. You want to read all the posts, questions and solutions posted by others first, and then pick a different question. The reason you want to read it, the purpose of that is really to go through this learning process. If you do that on a daily basis, you really don't have to spend more than 10 minutes reading, because there may be 1 or 2 new posts, okay? So read the post, make sure you don't repeat the same question. Then you pick a different question, you write the question from A to Z. And I want to know the question number if it happened to be from the practice test. And that's okay, because remember, even if you pick up a practice test question, that's okay with me, as long as you write everything with details. Even the solution is there, as you know. Then when you show the steps, it's important. I'm not interested in an answer. So read the way I answer questions. I want to know what your steps are, what formula you're using, what is your justification. So you want to pay attention to that. And you can find that problem anywhere, from the practice test, from online, from YouTube, wherever you find that question is fine. This is the first step, and that gives you 10 points. The way you answer it, again, there is a math palette you can use in order to show formulas and mathematical expressions. So that's the first step. You pick a question and you do it from A to Z, completely different than others. Number 2, you find a similar problem online or on YouTube, mostly on YouTube, and you post the link. Why is that? Again, I want everybody to have a chance of reading and looking at a similar question to make sure we get more and more comfortable with the concept. Finally, you want to comment on or explain at least one classmate question that is either solved or is found online and posted by watching it carefully in its entirety. To receive credit for this part, write the name of your classmate. Now, I have given an example here so it will be clear. Number one, I've made up a question and I have shown the answer step by step from A to Z. So question, step by step solution. Number two, I have found a similar question on YouTube and I put the link here. Number three, I'm commenting on somebody on question by John Doe's YouTube post. On their YouTube post, this post was about finding the z-score, and I keep on writing about it. A couple of, sentences, a paragraph would be nice, and that's it. Now, if you want to embed an image in Canvas, I have put the information here. You can click on this and it will explain to you how to do that. How do you use math type on Canvas? When you are in Canvas, there is a math editor. When you click on reply at the bottom, which is now covered with this ribbon, you will right here, when you reply, then you can use Math Palette. And that's exactly what you're going to do. You're going to reply and answer your post. So this is the discussion forum. Those are easy 20 points, everybody. Take a look. Easy 20 points. Going back to the home page. Syllabus, modules, practice test and solutions, discussion forum is done. After that, optional, the sample test solution. On the left side, if you look at this navigation bar, I also have this one, sample test solutions formulas. This, I say it's optional because practically everything that is here, also you can find it in Canvas. And what I have here for you, more stuff. And one of the reasons I have put it here is because sometimes something happens, you may not have access to Canvas, so you can find many things here. If you look at the format here, test, prepare for test one, that really means module 1, 2, 3, 4, so on and so forth, formulas, tables, just about everything that you find on Canvas, you can find it here. For example, if you click on prepare for test, it gives us this, the PowerPoints that I have, the practice test, the solution to practice test, video solution for practice test. Everything that you can find there, you can also find it here. Now, so that's why I called it optional. You really don't need to unless something goes wrong with Canvas. Number 6, of course, exams. Take the scheduled exams. Number 7, you're more than welcome to attend the office hours if you have a question between 8 and 9:30. And all you have to do on the left side, as you did it today, you click on the Zoom and just join. The next thing, before I go look at the homework here, I want to look at one more tab here on the left side called PowerPoints, lectures, and practice test. Now, as we go through practice test, because we're going to have a review, I'm going to go over the practice test. I will record it and post it here. First and foremost, these are some old recordings. So for example, module 1, the solution to practice 1 is posted and it is recorded here. You can find it here. Here's the second one, the third one, so on and so forth. Now, sometimes they may be broken, they may not work. I have also given you my playlist here. Now, under the playlist, you can find PowerPoint's lectures section by section, and practice test recording will be also posted. So again, on the left navigation bar where it says PowerPoints, lectures and practice tests, you can find just about everything regarding the PowerPoints and practice tests. Going back to the homepage, we basically covered everything, and now it's time to discuss the homework. And remember, if you click on the homework here, takes you there to modules. So what I want to show you is how to get to my OpenMath. So I'm going to put this in student view. When you click on right this link, it says basically at the top says my OpenMath, access your online homework, no need for course ID, because I put that there because there have been emails asking for that, and I think it's very obvious. There's no need. So what do? You click on it. What happens? Well, you either have an account with mom, my OpenMath, or you don't. If you do, you use your username and password, you sign in, you're there. What if you don't? You just create an account, enter a username, password, just like the usual one. So I'm going to assume everybody can do that. So basically, you click on the very top module and you start registering. It's that simple. Now, I'm going to go back. If I click on that again, it'll ask me for registration. So if I have registered, it won't. So I'm going to change this from the student view. And therefore, if I click on it, it gives me access to the course. This is mom or my OpenMath. So let's see how this thing is going to work. So you're here in my OpenMath, and what I have done, at the very top class, you see exams. And the reason I put it at top, because in the past I've seen students having problem finding it, and they are all timed, they have due dates, and they are password protected. Okay, and by no means you have to worry about it at all. Then, of course, in the beginning, welcome to the statistics and probability. There is some legend explaining what each symbol stands for. The next one is what we call a calendar that shows what is due and when it's due. Notice the very first thing on Thursday, okay, IA, and I'll tell you what IA is introduction to my OpenMath. It's an introduction assignment, which tells you how to use my OpenMath. It's due in a couple of days. And then you see a bunch of homeworks and the exam one, okay, that takes place then and there. And then exam two and the rest of them. Now, what I want to make sure everybody understands, you see all the homework for the first exam is due the day before. Does it mean I have to wait until then to do the homework? Absolutely not, because if you do, you will get behind and you will not be able to catch up. I expect you to do your homework on a daily basis. This is the only way to succeed in this course. So every day do a couple of sections. By the time we get to the exam time, it is not a big deal at all. So that's as far as the calendar. By the way, you have a choice. Over here, you see number 4. You can click on it and you use more weeks or less weeks. It's your choice if you want to expand it or make it smaller. Now, note, follow the course by following modules in my OpenMath and in Canvas. They cover the same topics. Do not pay attention to the number for the chapters, as these chapter numbers may not agree in Canvas and in MOOC. So I can't emphasize this enough. Just pay attention to the module. And the first exam is module 1. So take a look. Module 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what is module 0? That's what I want to discuss. In short, module 0 consists of many resources for you. As it reads, text, gradebook, calendar, late pass, formulas, online calculators, so on and so forth. So module 0 is just a bunch of resources with one exception. The exception is introduction to my open math assignments is here. It has to be done today because you really want to know how to deal with my open math. So I'm going to quickly show you when you click on introduction to my open math. The idea behind this is to show you how to input your information and mathematical symbols as you come across your homework assignments. Please do that. It doesn't take long, but it is helpful. What I want to just add here, if you answer something, let's say here, notice this is a simple number. I can put the numbers, but if I need to put mathematical symbols, it becomes available to me. Okay, the moment I click on that, I wanted to show you that. So for example, 79.8955. So that's the answer. Let's say you can do the next one and the next one. Let's submit question just for the sake of argument. Notice the moment I submit that, it shows a check mark. I haven't made a mistake. I need to do more questions. If you say you're done, notice what happens. It brings you here. It shows that question 1, we got a portion of it is right, and the rest we must do. And questions 2 all the way to the last one are unattempted. Okay, you can resume or exit. All right. Module 0. So the first thing, as I mentioned, is introduction to my open math. Then you have the text. The text is really a reference text. I stick with my own PowerPoints, but this is a good reference. You can always use it. And it shows various versions, such as a PDF file or web. I'm going to keep, click on the web format. Okay, seems to be slow. Let's see if it does it again. It should give you the text if it's, yeah, sometimes it might act up. And as you can see, we have the different chapters. You can search for a topic. If you click on this, it will take you to the more information about the course, okay? More information about the text. So the text can be found under modules. Gradebook, calendar, late pass, so on and so forth. If you click on the gradebook, this is a short video which takes maybe a couple of minutes explaining how the gradebook works. Same thing for calendar. Same thing for how to use a late pass. I highly recommend you take a couple of minutes to go through each and every one of them.
Of course, very understandable.
So you want to watch those. And this portion explains how to look up your own grade at any time. We have formula sheets here as well as in Canvas. I put a bunch of free online calculators. Take a look. I highly recommend you look at each and every one of them and see what works the best for you. Free online calculators. This is statistic calculator. This is Star Trek calculator that does stats. Standard deviation calculator, p-value calculator, and we have more online sources, a calculator such as Desmos, other external websites. So there are a lot of resources. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back and I'm going to close module 0. Under module 0, we find a lot of resources. Please take a few minutes of your time, explore it, see what you can find there. The thing I want to explain as far as the late pass is concerned, if you don't do the homework in a timely manner, you have a couple of days to do that. Using a late pass, you have to ask for a late pass, and I've made it available for the students, and you receive 10 to 20% penalty. So you're not going to get full credit as those who do it on time. So this is module 0, resources, done. What about module 1? And this is how everything is done. So we're going to go over one module and that will do the job. So if you look at module 1, it starts with some explanation and objectives. It tells you where you can find the information in the text. And more importantly, these are the videos. And none of them is really long. So watch the videos. All of them are videos. And then you can do the homework. Okay. So again, this is section 1.1. After you do that, again, remember the process is that you go through the PowerPoints in MOM, you go through the videos here, and you start the homework. You can do section by section or chapter by chapter. Now you go to 1.2, the same thing. You have a bunch of videos. You've already watched the PowerPoints, you do the homework, and so on and so forth. This is how you do the chapters. So one section, section 1.1, you've looked at the PowerPoints, you've watched the videos here, you're ready to do the homework, and of course you have done introduction to my open math assignment, so you know how to input the information. So if you start, resume, so you answer a question, and that's the idea behind this. There's really no limit as far as how long it takes you to do the work and if you have to redo it. So you answer the question. It says enter an integer or decimal. So a political scientist surveys 26 of the current 110 representatives. So 110 represents the population. So they are asking for the sample here, 26. And the population is 110. And notice, before even I do that, I could watch the videos here. Generally speaking, if you watch the videos, it will help you not only with this question, also with the rest of them. And again, some of them, they have key terms. Some of them, they have read this, watch the video, so on and so forth. So I submit the question, and it check marks or it tells me it's wrong. And if it's wrong, I get a similar question to do that. And I go to the next example and the next example and the next example, and I say I'm done. However, before I do that, something comes up. I can't finish this, so I intend to come back to that. For now, I'm going to click on done. Again, question 1 is done, and the rest of them are unattempted. So when I come back to this, it lets me resume. Right now, I have a choice of resuming or exiting. So when I exit, it puts that grade in the grade book, the portion that I've received, until I go back and finish it, or that would be the final grade for this assignment. So again, when you go to MOM, After the calendar, you see module 0, spend some time on that to see what resources are available. After that, starting with module 1, scroll down to the videos, watch the videos, and then do the homework section by section. So to quickly recap, number 1, there is a welcome message. Number 2 is the class philosophy. Number 3 is the announcements. Number 4 is the synopsis of what you need to do to be successful in this course. Take a look at the syllabus. Under the modules, you can find the practice test, the PowerPoints, solution to the PowerPoints, homework. Do the discussion forum in a timely manner. Take the exams. Attend the office hours. I wish you all best of luck.